Have you ever looked at your portfolio and thought, wait, do I even like my own work? Yeah, same. I opened my portfolio the other day and I thought, who made this?
You're dark and moody. Just own it.
We are talking real talk today, how to build a professional portfolio, part two, with Heather and Fort May, the Two Broke Photographers podcast. This podcast is basically what happens when two photographers try to run a business, build a brand, navigate being broke.
Survive.
Yes. And stay sane all at the same time.
Is Instagram safe? TikTok almost went away. TikTok was gone for 24 hours and people freaked out. Can you
Oh,
imagine if all your portfolio was in one place? Again, continuing on from part one, where we discussed how to get models into your portfolio. This episode, we should talk about where to have your portfolio, how to make your portfolio very cohesive, and what kind of things you should think about and look out for in your portfolio. One thing to think about is firstly, where is your portfolio going to be? Now, a long time ago, people would literally have them stuck up on their wall outside their studios because we were a different world. Now we have the internet. Now we're social media connected. Is just your website enough? Is just your Instagram enough? What is the best way to hold your portfolio? Now, Heather, I'm sure you have an opinion on this. And I know TikTok went down for 24 hours and a lot of people freaked out because they had all of their eggs in one basket. And if you're someone that's relying on just having all your portfolio, all your videos, all your photos in one place, you need to think about any day a whole app could be gone. So Heather, where do you think a professional photographer should have their portfolio?
I think a photographer should start showing their portfolio on something that is one, free, and also has a lot of reach. And I think that, of course, is social media. I do not think that when you're first starting out, you need a website that you have to pay for. They're going to have to go back and redo many times. You can do like a single landing page, but I think put all your effort into one platform at a time, get really good at it, and then move on to the next. And I think the easiest and cheapest way to start out is on Instagram or potentially on TikTok.
I'm a little bit more of everything because I just don't want people to put all their eggs in a basket. But I started out on Facebook. I did find I wasn't getting my clientele on Facebook. When I reached Instagram, I really felt like I was getting my clientele. So obviously what I'm doing there with my profile and portfolio there is really working. I definitely recommend Instagram. And I know some people might get angry that we're not saying website, website, website. We are saying website, just not at the beginning. It's not going to end you. There is free resources with websites. I think Wix has some free access to some landing pages. So if you can get it for free and you want to start it out and just have some portfolio work going there, why not? If it's free and you're not overwhelmed by the idea of it, do it. We're not saying don't. We're just saying it's okay to start with something that's free and easy to begin with. As long as there's somewhere that once someone says, I want to see your work, you can send them there. So
Mhm.
that's a great idea. So let's continue on with how to
Well,
make your.
I do want to add that you should definitely go to the platform where your ideal client's going to be. So if you're on Instagram, you're probably going to hit a certain age group. If you're on Snapchat, you're going to hit a certain age group, et cetera, et cetera. If you're on LinkedIn, it's probably going to be better for headshots and things like that, commercial photography. So pick
True.
your platform for sure. But I don't think you need a website. I do, however, agree that you definitely don't want to put all your eggs in one basket and you don't want just to rely on one social media account. And that for me is getting people to your link in bio to start an email list. Your email list is something you can own. You get people to opt in. You don't even have to send out emails. Just collect that email list and one day you're going to use it. All right, well, moving on, I really want to dive deeper here in part two. I want to ask you guys, did you ever look at your portfolio and think, who is this for? Because I think that's one thing that you definitely need to consider. What you show in your portfolio is going to be essentially your visual resume. And even at that, you only get a few seconds. People are just going to scroll on one screen or for like 3, 5, 7 seconds, and that's going to be it. So you really need to wow them. What do you think?
You're right. And I see this a lot when people start out and they don't have content. They tend to fill up their portfolio. I call it portfolio. you're going to probably call it your social media page, but your page is your portfolio. So people tend to fill up their page with anything just to fill it up. So when you're a beginner photographer, you go and get a bowl of acai and you put that down and you take a photo of that because it looks cute and you upload that. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong, but if you're not doing food photography, you're confusing a lot of people. And are you trying to make a personal connection page that you want people to just connect with you and book you because of that? It's very confusing, I think. You need to set that boundary at the beginning, what you want your page to be. Now, look, I'm not saying it hasn't worked for some people to be more personal and have what they ate on Friday and having their photography between. But I do find that generally works more with lifestyle photographers where people want that airy-fairy, like, this is my life, I'm at the beach, come and shoot at the beach for fun. They're not usually big earning photographers, in my opinion. So you would need to differentiate that from the beginning, whether you want to be taken more seriously. So I do recommend to not use your personal page. Have a separate professional profile that is just your photos that you want people to see. So I'm not saying your story, don't get me wrong, on my story, I will have some personal aspects of myself, but it will never remain on my Instagram feed forever. It will be just in my story, 24 hours, it's gone. So if you're at the beach today and you're feeling all holistic and like, oh, touch sand and felt good today, and you have no content for your story, put it as your story. It's gone in 24 hours. People connect with it. People will reply back like, I love the beach too. That's great. But don't put it on your actual profile to stay forever where the next person wants to book you and you're like, okay, I really want to see her maternity photos. And they're scrolling down you at the beach, your dog, your feet in a nice pair of heels that you bought. And they're just like, oh God, okay, where is
No
what I want to
matter
see?
how cute the heels are.
No feet pics on the internet, guys. Let's not do that.
If you're going to do that, then you need to charge for that.
But
You need to be
you know
on
what I'm saying?
OnlyFeed.
You've been on someone's page where you're just like, where is the photos? Like, where is
Yes, yes. So I 100% agree. Your permanent portfolio that's down in your feed, don't put yourself in there. If you do super sparingly, people are going to look really quick and that's going to have to sell you. So it's basically, and here's the thing, even when you're not there in the room with somebody speaking with them, like, and they come across your portfolio through search or a recommendation, or it pops up from social media, like the algorithm recommending it. Like basically your portfolio is your cheerleader, your silent hype girl when you're not there. And so when you're not there to explain yourself, it needs to say, here's what I do, and here's how I do it, and here's why I do it better than anyone else. And
how many
while you're,
seconds do you think people stay on your landing before they disappear?
there's statistics for this. What is it now? 3 seconds? You have 3 seconds to capture their
Yeah,
attention.
I think it's under 5 seconds, literally. That's it.
If you don't capture their attention in the first 3 seconds, then I should have looked these up before we started. But if you don't capture within the first 3 seconds, then the chances of them continuing on are way less than if you capture their attention, and then you're more likely to get into 10 seconds and then even up to 1, 2 minutes, 3 minutes kind of situations.
Yeah, because then they're deep diving. If you get that 3 seconds in, then they're like, okay, I really like this. Now I'm on your website. Now they're in all these places. Now they're watching your reels, right? So you're getting them to fall in love with you. But if that first 3 seconds is so unappealing, they're gone. If you've lost a client.
And if you have, and they call that, especially on websites, like your hero image, if you have that amazing shot that will sell every time, that everyone probably wants, your ideal client, then pin that to the top of your page, whether this is TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Pin that to the top as a featured post, and people will see that and they're like, oh, I want to see, oh, I want to, yeah. And then before you know it, they're at least 3 swipes.
Yeah.
Right. And then they'll go back up into your profile, but don't expect them to go through everything. Well, at least the typical person who's going to inquire. I do want to touch on, as you do that, and going into the next point, is because you only have a few seconds, you really need to curate those images to be your, not only your best images, but what you want to sell. Because if you have weddings and pets and flat lays and everything all in one feed, it's going to confuse people. So I truly believe that you should be able to sell 5 photos and nothing else, and book a client off of that. So if nothing else, just your best 5 photos. There's a lot more to explain with that, but I'm just going to leave it with that for today. Just your best 5 photos, same genre. Don't confuse people. Make
Yeah, they
sure,
should click over.
yes, they want to see more. And then if you don't have it, that's okay as well. Don't even stress about it, but you can show larger galleries if they ask for it. But make sure those 5 photos are cohesive. They have a style to them. Even if you're questioning your style, you don't know what it is yet, that's okay. But just make sure when you're first starting out, even when you're an advanced photographer, because like I need to be reminded of all of these facts sometimes, but just make sure that you're showing what you want to sell. So it's got to be a cohesive style. It needs to look like your brand. Even if you don't know what it is yet, it needs to be at locations that you want to shoot at. Because if you show a photography session at the Eiffel Tower and you can't ever go back to the Eiffel Tower for whatever reason, you're going to have all these people let down. They're going to reach out to you saying, I want to shoot at the Eiffel Tower, and then you can't do it.
Unless you're someone that advertises that every image you take is at a unique location. And I know that sounds crazy, but I've known photographers that do that, where they find like a corner in a similar place, but every image and every couple that they have out, they advertise that they're shooting unique every time they shoot. So it's your location, your atmosphere, everything's different. If you're doing that, I shoot at the Alpha Tower on Friday, and then I shoot at, the Louvre, but then you don't shoot there again, but they know that, they're aware, that's fine to have, unique things like that, because that's cohesive. Showing that you do unique locations each time is still cohesive in a different way. It's consistency. I shoot different each time, and that's okay. I have a photographer friend like that. He does couples and engagement shoots. Every single couple he takes them to a different spot. And his profile is amazing and very cohesive, because you still see that it's on brand. They know I'm going to get a unique spot with him, and I'm going to get these very loving, connecting, great lit photos that are unique. So that's still a version of cohesive. Don't get tricked by, you don't have to take people to the same spot every day. And that's not what we mean by cohesive.
For sure. And I will say that I did this in the beginning and I didn't do it well. And actually, I think it kind of stifled my progress a little bit. So, what I found was, and what any business teacher, marketer is going to tell you, and there's a quote, there's a saying, it says, the niches will bring you the riches, or niches will bring you the riches, but staying in the niches will send you to the ditches. So when you're first starting out, it is
That's
so
fun.
true. When you're first starting out, focus on one thing, and then you can expand out once you get a following. So, for example, I do portraits, I do headshots. It's sort of 2 different audiences in 2 different genres. Each client, ideal client for that, is going to be probably on a different platform. They might overlap, of course, but the marketing for each is going to be different. So instead of spreading out my marketing and putting all of my energy into so many different things where I only have a little bit of energy into everything, then I put all of my energy into portraits, and then I can expand out to headshots at a later time, or into weddings, or whatever it is that you do. Or if you're a wedding photographer that also does branding, like, get your wedding together first. Get all your wedding marketing portfolio together, and then you can start expanding out. But I say pick one, get it going, and then once you see a little bit of success and you have some momentum, then start branching out.
That's what you should be doing. For example, I do maternity and newborn, and I do events, and I do headshots, and I do a few little things that I've branched out to, because, like we said, once you know lighting, you know lighting. So I do a few other things, but with my Instagram profile, I don't want to be putting these random events with my maternity and newborn. To me, it doesn't feel like it's very cohesive and makes sense. I also don't always upload. I've uploaded 1 headshot, 2 headshot here and there, but I don't want to flood my current Instagram with them, because it can be confusing. And like I said, I don't want my ideal clients, which is my newborn and maternity, scrolling and scrolling to find a baby photo between the headshots and the events. It gets crowded. I am considering a separate Instagram page, which occasionally I can link back by tagging it, so people know where to find me. You can put it in your bio, just something more social based. So, my Ella's photography, I'm thinking socials by Ella, which is, socials is going to events. Events are a social thing. Headshots are a social thing technically, because you use them to advertise you socially. So I'm thinking of just kind of keeping my side quests to a side Instagram, just to be less confusing. Now, it's totally up to you how you plan to do it. I haven't actually seen someone do it all on one page before. successfully. I don't know if you have, but I haven't.
Never. Never.
It's crowded.
It doesn't work. End of story. Like it doesn't make sense to have weddings mixed together with headshots. It doesn't make sense to your ideal client. So I always say definitely separate those, but I think that's going to come at a later date. So just focus on one thing for now. Don't be confusing. You want your shots, your whole portfolio to sell you when you're not in the room or when you're not present. So I think it's so important. Yeah, just like you said.
Yes. So to what you just said, you don't have to put them up now, right? So for me, if you go on my social media, I haven't put up my headshots. I haven't put up my events. Am I not booking them as much because of that? Yes. But am I ready to take on the task of having a separate social media account for them? No, I'm not. I do have one or two on there, and I do tell clients, because you have so many, your returning clients are your biggest spokespeople. They will come to you and say, hey, my friend's doing a wedding, she's doing an engagement. Do you do that? Do you do a party? Whatever. I didn't know you could do that. Just talking to your clients that come in and telling them what you do, they spread the word for you. So if you're not ready to display them because you don't want to book them, or you don't have the capacity to take on those kind of inquiries right now, don't put them up. If you want right now, you're just starting out and you really want to just start with portraits and you hope to future move into events and other photography, then just keep uploading the portraits that you do. Keep it on brand, keep it cohesive and flowing in your portfolio so people book you for that. Because like I said, the other things can come they can come off those previous bookings. You can do a portrait session for a family and they book you every year, and then someone, a child has a birthday party in that family, they're going to ask you.
Yeah.
When you
They'll
become
say,
the
do you do
family.
events? Do you do
Yeah,
birthday parties? And you're like, yeah.
exactly. And once you become the family photographer, you become the auntie's photographer, you become the sister's photographer, you get in the family, a lot of people will generally book you. The best thing about our job, we have the avenue to get so many referrals when you build your relationships and build that. So, like I said, you don't have to post everything. Sometimes you will get booked off people. Just book what you want to sell right now. Make sure it all matches. Make sure it all feels loving and cohesive and on brand, where someone's like, oh yeah, I want her. Have you ever gone in a portfolio and you just felt warmth and joy from that portfolio? Like, I know with newborn photography, there's definitely people that are going their page and it's so warm and loving, and you see those zoomed in videos of the little baby feet, and then it turns into a photo and you see an example of their photo, and that kind of thing is selling. I'm just like, yeah, if I ever did a family photo shoot coming up, that's what I want. She made me feel joy just being on her page for a few minutes. So that's the kind of stuff you need to think about.
Like, I couldn't have said it any better. It's a
I need to
feeling
work.
that, yeah.
I need to work on that. I need to work on that.
As we're over here teaching, I'm personally the worst at
Yeah,
this. My
red
main
flag.
Instagram is all over the place.
But look, there, you don't
But my
have to be
website's on point. My website is on point, so.
at least that. But you don't have to be a warm and gooey photographer. Don't get me
No.
wrong. There's also portfolios where they're not warm colored and not, overly lovey and baby feet and cutesy kissy. But those pages are so professional. The posing is so good. The back straight, the just all the angles, everything, that they're so professional that I'm like, wow, I want them. So there is different sides to it, but you just have to be on brand. You're making a brand for yourself. So don't get me wrong. Don't think you all have to be warm and gooey, and people will book you for you, but just stay on brand. Don't go
Yes.
off, right?
And your
But
ideal client
yeah.
is going to say, not that, ooh, I want that. They're going to say, I have to have that. Like, this is what I want. That's what you're going for.
I'm saying all this, but honestly, in my head right now, I'm thinking, am I on brand?
No,
I don't
we're
know.
preaching.
I don't look. I feel like my brand is true to color, true to myself, and I think I give that vibe. I don't know. I'm worried the more I talk to you about this today, because I definitely know there's photographers where I go on their page and I know their brand straight away. I know it's warm and lovey, and then I go into other ones. It's that proper, demure, fancy, kind of like couture. Like you think of them like as a couture brand,
Very
and I
elegant.
very elegant, exactly. And I'm just like, what is mine? I tried to think I'm true and goofy. Maybe that's my brand. True and goofy. Look, it works.
We'll
I
just
guess.
rename you True
Yeah, true
and
and
Goofy.
goofy. I get 60% of my bookings from Instagram. So something's working. I would love it to be 80-90%. Something's working there, but I don't know what my aesthetic is, to be honest. I couldn't put a name on it. Have you been on
I
my
will say it is the hardest when you're looking at yourself and judging your own work and your own brand and own aesthetic and style and all that, like, is the most confusing thing. I could sit here all day and just look at account after account and tell you what you should do with your brand. But when it comes to my own, it's a mess, I feel like.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think when I see your page, it's that professional side. I definitely see your portfolio as like a professional, um, I think classic is the word for you. Very classic, very elegant. I definitely see that. So that's what you're going to attract. You're going to attract people that want that clean cut, classic look, which is great. I don't know what mine is. I'm going to have to check it. I'll deep dive later. Now you're going to keep me up on that.
Yes. Yes. And I have been going through a brand refresh lately. So I think I feel a bit more, yeah, narrowed in on my brand. But I will say that we've talked a lot about what we think you should do. I want to touch on a couple things that we think that you should not do. And I want to start with, I don't think you should post something that you can't recreate. So if you've done a session and this amazing photo came out, but it was just by chance, okay? It was just by chance. You probably can't recreate that for whatever reason. Maybe you don't have the skill. Maybe you don't feel confident that you can deliver it every single time. Then that's something that I might bury a little bit in my portfolio. I wouldn't make that like the front cover photo. What do you think?
I disagree. I disagree because, like I said, it's a rarity. It's a niche right there. Some people book based off the fact that they're the photographer that has each location, client, outfit unique and different. Now, these are rare. This is a rare specimen. So that's why I agree with Heather, but also disagree because there is some people that have made that work, but
No,
it's
I
very
agree with that.
it's
I
very
agree with that.
niche. Yeah, it's very niche, and every once in a while you come across that photographer. They look, I think they're usually more hobbyists that do this kind of photography. If you're looking at, making money off it, it might be different. The people that do this that I've seen successfully do it usually have big social media followings, but I think it's more of a hobby and they probably get paid by brands. You're not most likely going to get paid by normal people. So what I mean by this, I've seen people that will go and travel to Bali and they'll go under the water fountain, the water, whatever, and they'll shoot that amazing, the light shining through the waterfall, looking up at the sky, hero shot, and they'll upload that. And then the next week, because, they get a brand deal, the next week they're in another location, then they're in another location. They're always shooting these unique things. Keep in mind, it's possible, but they're more likely they're working off brand deals. They're working off just social media money. So, and that could dry up. So you got to really think about what you want to be doing. I'm not saying it doesn't work.
Travel photographer is a legitimate genre.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, of
I think that's
course.
good. What was going through my mind when I made that statement is I was thinking about, let's say you're an outdoor photographer, you go to one workshop where you take a studio picture, a studio photo,
Mm,
everything's set up for you, and you post that, and then all of a sudden all these clients want you for that, and you, without someone's help, you really can't recreate that. So
it's
that's
funny.
what was going through my mind when I said that.
I never, ever, ever, from the beginning, as much as I paid, I never uploaded any of my what do you call them, workshop photos because I felt guilty the same way you're talking about. Because I'm like, I cannot redo this. To some level, I could get close. The minute I left those workshops, I booked a model call because that's the responsible thing to do. Don't you dare take that photo, and I don't care what anyone says. I know it's your photo, but you can't do that again. You can't get close to it. You could possibly use it to advertise your model call because you took it and you have the copyright to it. Use that photo to say, hey, I want to try and recreate this. I need a model. But only advertise on your portfolio the photo you took with the model because that's true. That's something you sat there posing that baby, posing that family, and you were successful at it. Don't go and take a photo that some other photographer has posed the baby in a hard position that you don't know how to do, put him in a bucket and said, hey, take a photo. This is the lighting. Because every time I used to go to those workshops and they used to put the baby in the bucket and they used to do this, yes, they were telling me how to do it, I did not know how to do it. I had not practiced it. So wishful thinking, you can't do that the first go. Until you successfully do it and you can do it for someone else, don't post that photo. It's not fair. It's not fair. Fair. So
And
really think about that.
technically, I don't know about where you live, but technically in the US, it's false advertisement.
It
And
is.
that's
You can't do
illegal.
it.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree. I never uploaded them. I never did. Now that I'm further along, I did an outdoor shoot recently just to practice outdoor lighting and things like that. And I took a photo of a family outdoor. I could recreate that every week. Not a problem. I'll upload that because it was just me having a model. Basically, it was a model call for myself. Those clients came out. They weren't posed. It wasn't something that I couldn't achieve. So just think about these things, especially for people in my industry where you're doing babies, and babies, it's very dangerous. It's a lot of safety based work. If you can't put that baby in the bucket, don't advertise that you can. Don't do it. You got to be careful.
I love how you
You know,
say put the baby in the bucket.
because I do put babies in buckets, but don't swing that pregnant woman on a swing until you know it's safely secured. Okay, so don't go to these workshops and see someone hanging upside down like an Olympian, and then go to your garage and just throw up a sheet of blanket and be like, "Here you go." You're gonna kill someone, and then you're gonna get sued. Then you're going to jail, and then people are gonna post you online. You're gonna end up on Photo Stealer. Just don't do it.
You're going to be canceled.
You're a
It
lifesaver. That's it.
probably was. Yes.
But
Anyways,
before we move on though, that's talking about your portfolio, right? That is a lie on your portfolio. That's not cohesive. That's not honest, and that will remember we said if you post things that are on brand, your clients will spread your word for you. If you post something that you can't do or get close to, that person's going to tell 25 more people compared to the 4 people she might have told to book you if you achieved it. So just and think,
100%,
yeah.
1000%.
Yeah, the bad rep will go further because you misled. Bad rep goes further than good rep. So think about this. If you do a really good job, someone will tell 5 people. If you do a dodgy job, you're sly, you mislead, 25 people know about that. Think about that. Your
And
portfolio
they're
needs
going
to
to
be
tell
honest.
other people. It's going to spread like a disease.
Let's summarize what your portfolio should be. Honest. Honest. Your true work. It should be cohesive. It should be on brand. Oh my God, my fingers feel weird doing this. And what am I missing, Heather? There's something I'm missing.
Well, I want to add to cohesive really quick. And this is something that should go without saying, but if you haven't thought about it or heard it before, then it will be new to you. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I want you to consider if you really, really, really want your feed, your portfolio to look super cohesive, I would suggest, and you're a natural light photographer, only shoot at golden hour. If you have shoots at noon and you're not very good at it, and I don't know, you're going to have an inconsistent feed. So if you can, golden hour every single time. And it's okay if you want to shoot golden hour
Can you
every
hear the
day.
crow? Sorry.
No, can you hear the
So
frogs?
this is so Australian right now. There's a crow sitting on my windowsill just going,
Oh, I heard it.
gone.
I swear if a kangaroo comes jumping through your window one day, my life will be complete for sure.
You probably get a shark sooner than that. That's funny. Or a bin chicken.
If you want to be the golden hour photographer, perfectly fine. Shoot golden hour every day. People will come to you for that. And when a client's like, I want to do an afternoon, you can say, all I do is golden hour. And they'll be like, okay, I'm still booking with you. Like they don't care that much.
They'll try and give you pushback. Don't get me wrong. There'll be one. Mostly they'll be like, sure, I trust you. But every once in a while, one that will be like, I can't get my makeup ready in time, or my kid sleeps at that time. Well, then you can't get the photo. Like, what do you want from me? Like, it's just, I cop that all the time. But, stay on brand.
We can do a shoot at noon, but it's not going to look like my portfolio.
Exactly.
That's what I tell them.
Yeah. That's right.
I tell
Be
them
clear.
that.
Yeah, you can do what they want to make the money, but just tell them it's not going to look like what you've been looking at. And be realistic about that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Being honest. I saw something on a page the other day, beginners page, and they were talking about how she's worried that the photos don't look like what the photographer had advertised. She felt the skin tones were different, and this was such a major issue for her, which it should be. Honestly, if you book someone and they're light and airy and you don't get light and airy, you're going to be upset. So think about that. But if you know, like this photographer had told the woman it's not going to be the same because of this. So at least she was in the right by telling her it's not going to be the same. If the person continues to berate you or bully you online, at least you have a backup in text or message that you told them you can do this, but it's not going to be the same. Because hopefully it won't happen to you. Thank God I haven't had this happen. But you might have that crazy person that goes online and wants to make up things. If you had it in writing that you said it's not going to be the same as the portfolio because you're going against my wishes of the correct time, etc., cover your back, basically. And your portfolio should cover your back.
I agree. I like how you say cover your back and not cover your ASS.
Yeah.
Or cover your bum.
Well, I thought, are we allowed to swear on here? Sure, cover your ass.
Idea.
Cover your ass.
Yeah, I think that was a $10,000 violation. No, I'm kidding.
No, we just got a fine. Can't be on the airwaves anymore.
So we wrap this up. Cohesive, like you said, keep it on brand. Make sure your portfolio does not have an identity crisis. So yeah, when I was first starting out, I had a crazy portfolio of different genres. I went back, I deleted all of that stuff to narrow down my niche, and that's when my business changed. So if you're just starting out, you're really having trouble and you don't know what to post, but you still want to show your work, put it in stories. They disappear. Whatever you want. You just need to be seen at that point. But when it comes to your permanent portfolio, make sure you're being very niche-y. That's, I don't know. I don't know if you agree fully with that, but that's my advice.
I do. Like I said, there is rarity. We don't make our rules on the exceptions. So I agree. There is some people that will succeed with that, but in the other side of it, stay on brand and be cohesive with what you're posting for sure.
For sure. And there's always exceptions. I mean, as we speak every week on these podcasts, like we're generalizing. There's always going to be different reasons for doing different things. There's no one right way to do everything or anything. So take that into consideration as you're listening to us. Homework time for all of you listening. I want you right now, stop what you're doing, unless you're driving. Go look at your portfolio and ask yourself, would so-and-so hire me? And if the answer is no, it's time to
reevaluate.
It's time to edit.
Make some cuts. Get it done. I was losing my mind. I don't know.
Okay. And as Fort May would say, if you're not sure what to cut, ask a brutally honest friend, preferably one with no filter and no mercy. That's Fort May is, yes, you're my no mercy person, yes. So what we want you to do, go look at your feed, ask yourself that, and then I want you guys, DM us a photo you're not sure that belongs in your portfolio, and we'll tell you. Yeah.
We don't care. We'll hurt your feelings. It's all right.
We have opinions.
Just don't cry. Okay. Just don't cry. Also, don't care so much about, like, let go. I know it's your art, but let go of some things. Like, you don't have to keep that photo on your portfolio because it took you 6 hours to take it if someone tells you it's trash. I'm sorry. But, like, don't get your feelings too hurt. Just accept it doesn't work. It's not for everyone. It's something you love. Keep it in your phone. Get rid of it. Because, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of questionable things people upload that people are like, oh, that looks really wrong. And the person's obsessed with it and they don't let it go. Just be okay with letting things go. That's all I'm saying. Message us. We'll do it for you. We'll tell you what's good.
And if you can't message us, just tag us in your photo and we'll come take a look.
Easy.
If you love this episode, make sure you like this podcast. Be sure subscribe, follow on all of our accounts, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and also one of my favorites, we are on Substack. And that's sort of like a blog opportunity for our podcast. And yeah, definitely subscribe there. It's really great. So we'll see you guys next week.